Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen, and Kyle Larson has put out that he is starting the High Limit Sprint Car Series. Now, some people are looking at this from the outside looking in, and not the way you should be looking at this, which is from a business shake-up perspective. See, one of the biggest differences between the late model people making a lot of money and the sprint car people not making a lot of money is the ability to race wherever you want to. In the late model world, if there's a big $1 million to win race and it's a FloRacing event, all the late model drivers can go there, including World of Outlaw late model drivers, including Lucas Oil late model drivers. Similar to how if XR puts on a big 50,000, or if West Virginia Motor Speedway puts on a big event, whether it's Lucas Oil or World of Outlaws or whatever, the late model drivers can go there. Unlike in the sprint car industry right now, if I was to put on, or say this King's Royal right here was $1 million to win and it was not a World of Outlaw sprint car sanctioned event, the World of Outlaw Sprint Car Series drivers who have contracted into the series cannot go to that race unless the World of Outlaw Sprint Car Series organization gives them permission. And if there was another race near, they would have to get certain permission to be allotted to go there, and it has to be within a certain amount of time, and overall it still has to be given permission. You have to be allowed to do it. We see this sometimes with and it's really back to the streaming services, because you see sometimes a guy like David Gravel can run at Huset's, or you'll catch Sheldon when Outlaws rain out, or there's a rare off weekend for some odd reason, will be at Knoxville or Williams Grove. This is because it's a DirTVision streaming event. DirTVision is the streamer of Knoxville, Williams Grove, and Huset's on a weekly basis. So the bigger element to look at this is a FloRacing series that Kyle Larson is doing. It's a FloRacing style broadcast, not DirTVision. FloRacing and DirTVision are the two biggest entities right now outside of XR trying to make some rumbling in the late model world. But Flo and DirTVision, these are your two big dogs. And just as much as they compete on the racetrack for wins, these streaming services are competing for views. They want to be the best. Why would you not want to be? So that's where a lot of the money is now, especially in this post-COVID era, where everybody got used to streaming and sitting at home and not being able to go to the racetrack to watch an event. So this is the element that is being shooken up. Now the World of Outlaw Sprint Car Series has a chip on the table that a bunch of their race car drivers are going to want to go and play on. And it's not DirTVision's table. It's a FloRacing table. So it's high limit. It's what these drivers need. It's what these drivers want. It's what sprint car racing needs. More capitalism or free market instead of a closed market. So that's the element, the angle you need to be paying attention to on this. What is the World of Outlaws going to do? Are these teams that are on the World of Outlaw Sprint Car Series seeing these late model drivers make all this money and understanding the business streaming aspect as to why they are not going to put their foot down in 2023 and demand that if you want me on the World of Outlaw Sprint Car Series Tour, I'm running these FloRacing, Kyle Larson High Limit Sprint Car Series events? And this is the discussion that is going to be had. It hopefully already has been had. From my understanding, in the background, it has been kicked around very seriously. And I knew about this Kyle Larson series coming for over a month now. But I kept my mouth shut because I don't think it's respectful to break news on something that somebody is investing a bunch of money in. So there's a lot of money tied up into this idea. There's a lot of people being pushed. There's a lot of battles being happening here. And I'm not the one throwing $23,000 to win and $50,000 to win. And I hope they go to different tracks. Can we see them at Eagle Raceway? Well, can we get 410 sprint cars back at the Eagle Raceway, where Kyle Larson won his first ever World of Outlaw Sprint Car Series event? Hopefully they take an approach to this just like XR and the FloRacing Night in America does, and they go to tracks that typically don't have the money to have a World of Outlaw event, but they're bringing this showcase on. They're bringing this show with them, with the streaming revenue and everything like that, going to these different tracks, more than likely renting them out like most of these people do, the streaming services, and putting on these big events. Let's go to tracks that you don't see sprint car racing much. Or tracks that historically had amazing sprint car racing action, but don't anymore, like an Eagle Raceway would be top of the list for me in that category. So there's a lot of things that are going to happen with this situation. I think it's a really good deal. I think it's amazing. Obviously this week, Kings Royal, historical big one, $100,000. Kings Royal, historical big one on Thursday, $100,000. Kings Royal on Saturday, $175,000. So the sprint car racing industry finally going to get some six-figure paydays. So this is really good. This is right on time to release this high limit sprint car series. But pay attention to the things happening in the background, and pay attention to how big of a shakeup this is doing to the sprint car industry. This is what the sprint car industry needs, and this is where the sprint car industry needs to be going. Now, are they going to go global? That's a whole nother situation I've been hearing about. But at the end of the day, this is good for sprint car racing to keep the free market, to reopen the free market, because the free market for the sprint car stars of this world have been closed. And the World of Outlaws have controlled that market. Kyle Larson, Brad Sweet, brothers-in-law, are now going to be opening that market up. And I do want to give a big tip of the hat to XR and Lucas and World of Outlaws and all these people on the late model side, because from my understanding, when they're seeing these late model, these sprint car guys who are risking their life twice as much and putting on shows that are really badass, sorry to tell you, late model people, but hey, y'all are 4 and 5 wide and all that, but if you want to see a car suck up on somebody for 10 car lengths back and throw a slider and that guy come right back at you, want to see a chariot battle, sprint cars can do that. And maybe this high limit series will be able to show y'all what they can do and go to these tracks where it's more possible. Half miles and all that, Eldor is kind of rare, puts on a good race. These shorter tracks are amazing. Look at Houston a few weeks ago, 4.5 seconds behind Sheldon Hanshaw was with 4 laps to go and won the race, passing 2 cars in one corner. This is the type of stuff you can't see in late model racing. But I want to thank you, late model organizations, for making the sprint car world not necessarily jealous, but asking themselves, why can't we be getting that type of money? Why can't we be paid? And I think Kyle Larson has kind of cracked the door on that. Hey, it's this contract deal. I've been talking about it for years now. It's this contract deal, DirTVision, streaming services, all that. Now, the next question after this door cracks open is, are the streaming services going to start giving more to the tracks? And these streaming services, who are making some pretty good money, don't want to talk or hear about that, I'm assuming. So that's a big deal right now. Are these streaming services going to start giving back? Or are they going to negotiate with tracks in a way where they're like, well, we don't have to have your race here. This guy over here, he only wants 20% of the streaming revenue. You want 40, screw you. Somebody will take our bottom dollar. So that's also the next business aspect that's occurring in the dirt racing world, period. So there's a lot of things happening, a lot of shakeups occurring, but this high limit sprint car series is breaking the lock that has held back the World of Outlaw type drivers, the superstars of sprint car racing. It's giving them another platform to perform on. The only negative to this, and I do sympathize with the World of Outlaw sprint car series, is you have built these names up. And I said this with the XR versus Lucas and World of Outlaws, is the Lucas and World of Outlaw late model series have built these names up to these star levels that they are at. And then a guy like an XR can come in, offer a bunch of money, and take these names that those series helped build. Of course, their performance built their names as well, but these were platforms that built names. And then an XR, somebody can come in and harvest that growth from these series that have been around for a long time. That is technically what will happen, and that's the loyalty versus money aspect with the World of Outlaw Sprint Car Series, because the World of Outlaw Sprint Car Series has given these people a platform, land to grow themselves, to be household names, the Schuharts, the Schatzes, the Gravels, the Hodenshaws. It has been a place where they've been growing these names, building these names. I don't think they've been doing a good job of that, but this is where they have been built in the sprint car industry, and now Kyle Larson will come in with this money deal and harvest the growth and development that the World of Outlaw Sprint Car Series has done with these drivers. That is the one negative to this situation. Is it good? Is it bad? I don't know. But I'll tell you what, World of Outlaw Sprint Car Series, if you wanted to keep your girls happy, sometimes you do have to raise the pay if you have the opportunity to. Everybody's looking at the DirTVision numbers and how much it costs per year. It's one of the highest, most expensive streaming services of the country. And we all see how it's illegal to rebroadcast it. This is a World Racing Group property. So everybody knows that DirTVision is owned by the World Racing Group, which World Racing Group owns the World of Outlaws, Super Dirt Car Series, World of Outlaw Late Models, and Dirt Car Racing, which is a big deal as well. So that is the one split. Will drivers pick the loyalty or the money? Will everybody try to just work together and not make it such a me versus you? We will see, but this shakeup is very real. It's going to be very interesting. I want to thank everyone in the before we get out here, I want to thank everyone who has kicked in. Links are in the description to join the support. And we did add a bunch of names to the 2022 supporters list. We are here all week at the King's Royal, at the historical big one here in Eldora, or in Rossburg, Ohio, at Eldora Speedway. So if you want to keep this thing going, everyone did help me get here, but hey, we got to keep going. So join the supporters list. We got some cool content coming up. I'm at the Hillbilly High Banks right now. We're going to be doing some filming around that. Got things coming in the following week as well. I need to venture out here a little bit in the Ohio State, but I want to thank the people who did help get out here. Your list has been added in the description below, and there are links in the description. If you like what you're seeing, like what you're hearing, go to those links, click it, send whatever you can. It don't matter if it's 50 cents or 500. 500, I mean, I don't know what I need to do. Come over to your house and we, you know, burn the midnight oil, and then you get me drunk and I fall asleep and wake up with a little bit of soreness on my backside. But hey, all of us in the successful media industry have experienced the same. So, anyways, thanks for the talk. Thanks for tuning in. Subscribe to the channel. Be sure to hit that little bitty bell icon so you get all notifications. You could change it from personalized or whatever to all. It's a big deal. YouTube is where it's at. Facebook, I'll be posting this over there, a link to it at least. And we probably will be doing some lives, but it'll be more so on the road. But anyways, thanks for tuning in. We'll catch you next time here on Long Live the Chaz on YouTube.